Well, for many Canadians, Thanksgiving traditions are on hold this year. Pandemic rules are forcing a downsizing of celebrations and in some cases even keeping people apart from their loved ones. But health officials say the sacrifice is necessary. This is to stem the tide of new COVID-19 cases across this country. And for more, let's bring Laura McQuillan as she's beginning our coverage for us today with a closer look at new restrictions, especially in two of this country's hardest hit provinces, Laura.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. We're talking about Quebec and Ontario, both under restrictions this Thanksgiving Monday. I'll start you off in Quebec because as of the weekend, we saw some more red zones. We were talking about these last week. Now check out how things look. You'll see above where Montreal is marked on the map there, that label. We're talking about Gatineau, parts of Outaouais now at that maximum level, joining really everything up the St. Lawrence from Montreal to Quebec City with only a few exceptions. What does that mean? No home visits. You can't go round to anyone's house today. You can't have them round to yours. You need to stick to your own household. Bars and restaurants no longer doing indoor service, and there will be new rules coming into effect for high school students during the week as well in those red zones. They're going to have to wear masks at all times, and in fact some secondary students will only be going to school every second day. So starting to see that impact on schools that health officials had wanted to avoid. We also saw on the weekend checkpoints being set up to make sure that any travel was essential, with a message from officials in Quebec: don't leave the province, don't leave a red zone and go to an orange zone or a yellow zone. They want people to stay put this holiday weekend. But some good news in all of this: some of those red zones were declared at the end of last month, and take a look at what the numbers are doing thus far. We are beginning to see those new cases tapering off. 942 cases yesterday. But if you look at this graph, you see that curve flattening there, Michael. So that is some good news coming out of Quebec, a dip from above about 1,000 cases now coming down. Now, in Ontario as well, 649 cases, which is a little bit down on the past few days. But keep in mind, you can no longer get a walk-in to get a COVID test. You have to get that appointment in advance. So experts were warning that the numbers would likely be slightly off in the coming days. Something else we noted from the most recent numbers is a switch from more numbers in Toronto to more in Peel, west of Toronto. Also, fewer younger people getting sick and more in the older or more vulnerable groups. That's causing a lot of concern. Now seeing these new restrictions, and we've been checking in with business owners about what that's going to mean for them for the next 30 days. Take a listen to what one of them told us.
Our team's reaction has been uncertainty. You know, what is our business model going to look like? What's the future of our business going to look like? You know, the level of employment that we can sustain for our colleagues. We have seen a drastic, increase in cancellations from our reservations that were booked for this weekend, and it's unfortunate, but people are very understanding.
So if people are canceling because they have concerns, I guess that leads to the question: how can Canadians really celebrate safely on this Thanksgiving Monday?
Yeah, and in Ontario and Quebec, you're being told stick to your own household, avoid any non-essential trips out of the house. In other areas, though, we are getting you some good Thanksgiving advice. It is much of the same public health guidance we've seen all along, but take a listen to what Dr. Isaac Bogosh told us.
You really have to avoid close contact in indoor settings. I think that's the real important point here. Even though we're talking about food and whatnot, that's the main way that this is transmitted. So if you can avoid that, I think you're doing something right. If there's high contact surfaces, for example, a buffet style, serve your own, I mean, that's probably not the right approach. So maybe one person could be serving the food to other people so you don't have, 10 different hands on the same serving spoons.
So a bit of good advice there. The message from experts like Dr. Bogosh and from officials, Michael, being if we can get the numbers down this Thanksgiving, perhaps Christmas can still be celebrated the way we used to.
Okay, Laura, thank you for that.